welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering High Desert Brutality 24 Stage Whistleblower. Alright, so on this stage, they called it a shoot house. It was actually kind of more of a maze that you had to go through. You started at the entrance, you went to the first shooting port, and you engaged a hostage type target, which was a steel plate with another behind it just barely showing. You had to hit the one behind it, not in front. If you hit the one in front, you took a very severe penalty. Then you negotiated through the maze to another open port, and they had 3 targets you had to engage with double hits. And once you did that, you went back into the maze, followed the instructions of the RO, went to a third firing port, of which they had 2 plate racks set up, yellow and white. You could knock down the whites. The yellows were the prisoners. You couldn't knock those down, or you'd take a very heavy penalty. Finally, you went to an infinity target, brained it, literally, point blank range, grabbed a kettlebell shaped like a skull because that was the cyborg's head you just blew off its body, and then you got to the chopper, and you ran to the chopper, which was really a wobbly bridge prop, but you know, it kind of fulfilled the chopper motif in an opposite way. And what I mean by that is, usually on a chopper you have the firm base of the floor of the chopper, but then you have a strap across the doorway that your rifle rests on. It's not as steady as it could be. Well, this was just the opposite. The floor was unsteady, but the bar that you could rest your rifle on was, in fact, very steady. So, same effect, different order. Once you got there, you had to engage 2 small auto poppers with 4 hits in a 1-2-1-2 pattern, and then spin the spinner. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened, and we'll talk about it on the other side.
Shooter, are you ready?
Ready.
Shooter is ready. Stand by.
Hit.
All right.
Good.
All right. Back here. Straight forward to the left. To the window 2 inches. Right, back to me. Back to me. Straight forward. Left. Left.
Yeah, my other left.
Forward. Right. Plate right through the window.
White is the bad guys.
White is bad guy. Alright, drop mag. That's you get the cyborg. Holster and grab the kettlebell. Get to the chopper!
Let's go. Let's go. Evac's here.
You're all good, you're all good. Take your time. Poppers in the suite. Hi.
Right. Hit.
Hit. Hit.
Hit. Right. High edge. Right edge. Right edge.
What the fuck?
Right edge. High. Same spot.
Hit. Hit. Spinner.
Low. Low. Just below. Low right. Edge. Low edge. Low edge.
What edge? Just under it?
Low. Yeah, you were low. Left edge. Good. Good.
I remember the spinner. Just like I got it almost there, but when I got it, as soon as I focused on my front
One more good hit.
it's like, well,
Good.
Over.
Alright, that was my run. Not the best in the world, not the worst in the world. Pretty solid. So the hostage target came pretty easily. The 3 steel targets you had to double tap came pretty easy. I got very lucky on the plate rack, as you saw, because one of the targets fell on its own, which was really good because I was just about to break the shot. I was like, that's so close, and let off on it real quick. Or else I would have tagged the hostage target behind it that I didn't want to do. So glad that worked out. Obviously didn't miss the infinity target. Got to the chopper. Once on board, my strategy was not falling down like I did. Believe it or not, that wasn't part of the strategy. But my strategy was to favor one end of it as kind of a way to off balance it and minimize movement. When you get perfectly centered on those things, even the recoil of your rifle gets them really moving. So I was figuring if I bias to one side, that would help eliminate movement. And to a certain extent, I think that worked out. That combined with the bracing really cut down on the movement. Movement was still a factor, but I've been on a prop like this before, especially at last year's High Desert Brutality, where movement was way more effective than it was this year. So I think my strategy in that worked. Again, the zero's a little bit off on the rifle, so I'm figuring it out, but I figure out the poppers pretty quickly. Trying to figure out your offset on a moving target is demonstrably more difficult, and you see the spinner gives me a little bit more trouble. But I do eventually get it, and those 175 grainers screaming out there just knocked it over in two once I got my aiming point down and got my timing right. So all in all, a pretty fun stage, a pretty challenging stage, one that tested not only your pistol skills, tested your maneuverability, and tested firing your rifle from an unstable position. Not a bad design at all. I really enjoyed the stage. I love the Predator motif with it that they had going as well. We hope you're finding this coverage of High Desert Brutality helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in tomorrow for the next stage.